right at the time we're at 11:59 on the doomsday clock that the closing window to turn things around. just on the environmental and climate level, which drives so much of the social unrest. A lot of the wars have climate change components. The biodiversity is absolutely, it's not just in decline, it's in, free fall.
I think Musk was saying the other day that uh, in 2030 or by something like that, mankind will be obsolete.
I guess from the AI standpoint, he's talking about, I would think, huh?
I don't know what he's saying. You know, I don't know what's true. All I know is the world's never going to be the same again, and it's like we've leaped off a cliff and you can't stop gravity from our falling, or in a way it's a good thing because we're dismantling all the forms that have not been working, yet who knows what can replace it that can be, ideally better, or in what form better? Is it going to be humans better or AI better? Or, I have no idea. I think with this
Yeah.
cocooned unknown, cocooning chaos, I call it.
Well,
It,
it's a brave new world, whatever that means. Is dystopian in many ways, but it's also causing those of us holding up, the standard banners of love, light, inclusivity, and ecology and justice to band together into oasis communities and just do the best we can in the coming storm. And there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear and uh, terror and
Absolutely. Well, that's what I've
yeah,
done in moving here, in coming to this, which place.
yeah,
It's in a way it's a safe haven, or maybe not, but it seems like potentially this is. I mean, I came here particularly when I felt that the cities are going to be the worst place to be. And even though I like urban centers and I love Cirque du Soleil and great restaurants and the lifestyle of entertainment and drama, and but it's far from that. I'm celebrating a renewed relationship with aloneness and all oneness that I never imagined I would. I'm basically alone almost all the time. I don't mean alone, isolated. I'm alone in my caravan, connecting with wonderful people all over the world, and not a lot of people come here.
it's not easy to get to. And other than you, there's not a lot of draw. uh, Yeah, and I have a renewed appreciation of that actually now that I'm, having to withdraw to a certain extent into a, like-minded community, hunkering down as best we can. I still have and the need to be in a at least drivable access to a cultural hub, and Asheville does fill the bill. We're 20 minutes away, so that's a really easy access, and I am there usually several times a week for different things, events, or uh, usually events of one kind or another.
It's a great
Or
lifestyle that you have right now. Speaking about England, I went to England on the early August, and I went there and I delivered my keynote signature speech, 20 minutes on the key tools that I developed with the transforming your message with your body and voice presentation coaching, about 10 of them, over 50 years, with engaging stories and full engaging body presence and wonderful slides. And I'll send you the link. I'm so proud of it. It's like the main leveraging tool or product that I'm ready to get out into the world while I am so far away, but able to connect with people deeply with this medium, as long as we have
yeah,
the use of
yeah,
it.
beautiful. It does feel very much like one of your primary gifts to the world, and I would love to jump in and check it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll send you there's an interview that followed. Is at Cambridge University, actually. I was presenting at Cambridge University in England.
Wow, wow. That. Oh my God, that's very high end and impressive. Yeah, good for you.
And it's the best of me. It's totally the best of me in the shortest amount of time, bringing in from all the four corners of the world and all that I've experienced, my
Yeah,
tools with stories, and it couldn't have been better. And I was so on point, you know. So I'll send it to you, and I'd love your feedback and maybe some.
awesome. No, I can't wait to jump in. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's we're all kind of being called to do just that, kind of encapsulate the sum of our who we are, our experiences, our work, our synthesis of what's now most important um, for us and humanity, and to present it in a way that's juicy and compelling.
Exactly,
Yeah.
compelling telling. That's right, exactly. So much to share. I'm still taking and I'm enjoying. Actually, I'm seeing now the effects after about 3, 4 months of using Pretendum. You know, it took me about 4 months because I was having some real knee problems and it was hurting whenever I was running. But after about 4 months, I've been on about 4 or 5 months now. Now I have got the spring in my step again, and um,
Woo-hoo!
yeah,
Fantastic. You look great. You feel great. It's something I can see that things are working on the health wise.
energetically, yeah, health-wise,
Yeah, beautifully.
I'm really doing it.
Awesome. Awesome. Let me go. I need to turn down something like that on the stove. Hold on a sec.
Sure, sure.
Raj is on the phone with a close friend and who did move recently from Australia back to her uh, back to England. She'd been in Australia for quite a while, also a sannyasin. Um, she may convince Raj that we do end up making a home. She's in Devon, a wonderful uh, part in of on the southern coast of England. It's about 3 hours from London, which would be the bigger cultural hub, of course. Um, anyway, we'll see. I would definitely need to have.
Is it on the
Uh,
south of the England island?
yeah, yeah. So it's probably some of the at least warmer weather. It's still cold and gray most of the time, but it's progressive community. That's where Transition Town started, which is a great movement. And you know it. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens. We're certainly in the conversation now.
Well, I spent a bit of time when I first went to the UK before I did my presentation at Cambridge University, in the south, near the airport, in a place called Sheffield. And I think it's probably near where you are. It was lovely. I really enjoyed my time there. Yeah, keep me posted. I know you will, wherever you are. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
With all the stuff that's been happening with the getting my voice and message out into the world, which is what I'm helping everybody else do, I've been on a lot of podcasts. I've joined a speakers bureau. I've been on about 3 podcasts a week. And
Wow. Oh,
the reason I'm bringing this up is something really funny that you'll appreciate. That one of the podcast collaborative community, I think it's called that on Facebook, that I joined. It's just a Facebook committee. There's someone that said, I'm looking for entrepreneurs that get inspiration in the wild. Her name of her podcast is Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. And so I wrote her, and about a minute later, she wrote me back because I said, I have a waterfall practice. And she, AEIOO. And she said, Oh my God, that's it. You know, that's all you had to say. So we did the podcast over the weekend, and we were both over the moon about it, and it was just great. And so now she's going to have a astrology reading, and we're going to dive deeper. And she lives
very good.
not far from you, actually, and it was
Huh.
great, to have things like this happening all over. And she said, I want to know about your practice. I went into real depth about the ah and the e and I and what it is, and the keynote and the word and the intonation, the horizontality. And she didn't want to know about my success story as much. She wanted to know about my waterfall practice. I do it every day. Today there was so much water because it's been huge thunderstorms here that I couldn't even get in. Yesterday I could.
Wow.
Today
Wow.
I put my foot in. There was like a tree like trunk in stuck in the water that I pulled out of the way. I put my foot in. I went, oh no, I might slam into some stones.
Wow.
I'm not even
Wow.
can't even get in there. I'll wait a day or two. So
That's exciting. Wow.
it's so much
Fantastic.
weather.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, the vitality and the physical health, that's probably where I'm happiest because I've always been making that priority number one. Um, Relationships, I think I've shifted from focusing on entanglements with one person at a time to a community. And next Tuesday, a week from today, Pluto shifts from 15 years in Capricorn to on the 19th of November, 20 years in Aquarius, the true beginning of the Aquarian age for all of us stepping into
Wow.
community, like-minded groups. So it's not a surprise you're having these conversations with me too about,
Wow. Huh.
what's happening with you as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time for us all to have like-minded groups, find our soul tribe, unconventional thinking, IT, AI. It's just really leaping into again the Pluto into Capricorn and have to do the room to this. It's just going, going, gone. But
Yeah. Hmm.
think Trump is one of the last heralds of this patriarchal kind of domineering and controlling, aggressive, dysfunctional dictatorship, draconian that used to be the sign of the warrior, right, and the John Wayne, and it's a
Right.
dying breed. I hope we don't die in the process, but it could happen. We have to be embraced, be willing to have anything happen, and
Yeah. I mean, the science is that it's over basically, that
yeah, yeah,
we're already just now hitting or on the verge of these giant positive feedback tipping points that
yeah,
will
yeah.
keep feeding each other, and for Trump to just be pedal to the metal on all that and gutting the EPA,
What is that EPA? I'm not sure what that means.
Environmental Protection Agency.
What does that
I mean,
mean?
it's our one safeguard to preserving any semblance of a healthy environment. So for him to get this guy in now that just says we're gutting the regulations because it's holding back our economic prosperity. It's like it does feel like you know complete climate chaos, which will mean you know everything in complete upheaval, wars, migration, you know levels of everything that no country can hold it together anymore. So I don't want to get too far into just being certain about this because obviously there are all kinds of uh, uncertainties around how this will unfold. And as we also know, catastrophes trigger, a lot of awakening, a lot of dystopia too, but a lot of awakening when people realize, none of the safeguards that we can depend on are here anymore. So we have to get very real, band together, hunker down in communities that are as off the grid and self-sustaining as possible.
I
um,
love that.
and that may be all that ends up being left. Just when when you look at what happened in previous mass extinctions, the last one
Wrong.
with the meteor destroying the biosphere, and only whatever small mammals and reptiles that were able to go underground and survive that degree of environmental devastation and gradually emerge, and evolution slowly uh, began again, and eventually created the higher level mammals that in the case of humans unwittingly, through short-sightedness and greed, created the seeds for their own destruction. Entire civilizations like the Mayan, for what we know, they by cutting down all the trees to, you know, create their civilization, they actually changed their own weather patterns and went, the civilizations went extinct. So that seems to be exactly where we are, except that we know that the difference is we know that we're doing that, and yet those of us who know don't apparently have enough sway over the culture to install the kind of leaders that would do what it would take to reverse that. So and it's karma at this point also. The US has been so incredibly, I mean, I just did this 3-day justice journey with 9 other people, going to uh, like racial history museums and installations that in Alabama, most Atlanta and Alabama, that uh, really shows how the entire country was built on the free labor of slavery,
Mhm.
and the genocide of the Native Americans, and the complete takeover of the land and everything. So,
Mhm.
we can also see this as karma playing out here now,
Yeah.
as my Peruvian teacher calls it. We're in the time of consequences. We've
Mm.
crossed all the ecological boundaries, and now
We're paying for it.
this is what is must, scientifically must
Must
proceed. So
happen. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We what they call it is an extinction event. Yeah. What are you doing 9:30 in the morning on Saturday, your time zone?
This Saturday,
Mhm.
we don't have anything planned yet for Saturday, so things are quite open.
Because at that time for you is my 1:30 in the morning for me, and I am leading something called Lead with Your Voice Summit with speakers and presenters. I'm actually starting it off. I'm like the lead in for
Wow.
just 20 minutes, and
I love that. I love that. I will.
I'd love you to be there. I'll send you a link. It's free, and
Awesome.
I'd love you to be there and connect with you personally. If you're there, I'll actually talk with you. It would be great. I'll,
Yeah, I
I'll
will put that in my calendar actually, even on Friday night, that to warn me that I've got something on Saturday morning. But if you'll also put down to
remind you.
text me just before it starts, that because I am tuned into my text, so that will alert me.
Would you like me to
But
text you by your phone or WhatsApp
yeah,
half an hour before?
yeah. Does it work for you to have to do regular texts, aside from WhatsApp?
Yeah. I could do that on my phone.
Okay, that's been the best way to alert me, because I am
Yeah.
definitely tuned into that.
I'll do that,
So
and I'll send you a link so you can register, and it's free.
perfect.
And I'm lead in. I'll take people through some exercises, one of my cool tools. And meantime, I'll send you the link to my keynote so you'll know some of what I'll be doing because that's the best of me as well. So I'm really onto this right now. I'm really fired up about bringing out the best of me, bringing out the best of everyone. I've been doing this for ages, but somehow now it feels like, I mean, did you see the Titanic? Did you see the movie?
Of course, yeah.
You remember the last scene when the orchestra says, "Well, what are we going to do now? Well, let's play a music. Let's just play. Let's do something that's joyful." While the ship's going down, they're playing. What are you going to do when you're going down?
Yeah, but that's that poignant scene. Yeah, that's kind of like how it is now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, where the arts are not just, of course, to while away our last hours necessarily, but to inspire us to tune into the more meaningful part of us that can still be grateful, can still see beauty all around us, no matter what draconian forces are trying to, control our minds and our cultures. Yeah.
I've always liked this beautiful Sufi song that I think I first heard from Aksun in Honolulu in 1980 when we were both in at the on University Avenue. There was a church there, Kapiolanian
Oh,
church.
The Sufi guy you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember him. Yeah.
Remember him? Is
He led the Sufi dances every week.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yaksan
He was in
Valdez
charge.
or something like that.
And
Yeah.
one of the songs that I like singing, because I'm a Sufi and I love singing, is I see beauty before me. I see beauty behind me.
Find me.
I see beauty above me. I see beauty.
Beauty below me.
I see beauty
Beauty
all
all
around me.
around me.
I see beauty within me.
Within me.
In all it is beautiful, Allah. With all, the joy, the sorrow, the hurt, the pain, the anguish, love it all, Yeah, yeah, because we're in it. Yeah, we're none of us can get out of this alive. And anyway, and if we are going through an extinction event, well, I guess what we have to do is live our life to the fullest, to the last drop. And, because it does seem like sooner or later, and now it seems like it's getting sooner than later, the end is coming, and we're actually here to experience it, or some end is coming, some form of it. I know when I'm doing counseling and coaching and therapy and mentoring with people, and sometimes I talk with people who are suicidal, I always come up with this phrase, well, yeah, it's great that you want to end what's not working, but you don't have to kill yourself to do it. You can end what's not working and have what's working come out of the debris, the phoenix out of the ashes.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, on a personal level, you and I will be gone, whatever, in 1, 2, 3 decades at most,
Yeah,
anyway, which
yeah,
is like a flash, right? So, so what do we want to do with our wild and precious last decade or two?
yeah.
And part of that for me is, I mean, knowing that who we actually are is spirit,
Mm,
just appearing in this very temporary, very ethereal uh, and changing manifestation in the earth plane,
hmm
uh, but which is real within this dream, but the greater reality, that the unchanging, the infinite, the eternal, is the entire spirit of which is who we really are. So
Yes.
our practices that um, keep one foot in this world, we're not going to deny it, try to leave it. We're going to, courageously be here and let in what's happening, and we're going to more and more keep that one foot out of it and in the eternal and infinite, and continuing to tune in to that which is the source of everything. When we see a flower, knowing that, as Thich Nhat Hanh says, we see the sunshine and the water and the earth and the DNA and the seeds that is actually uh, composing that flower that appears to us as this beautiful, fragile, miraculous thing. So more making our spiritual work more important than ever, really
Yeah.
giving it daily strong attention, have that begin to, include the physical, but more and more be turning towards that, even as we prepare to leave this physical world and literally into the world of spirit, leaving our
The
bodies.
world of being one with consciousness itself, with all that is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened to your arm?
I just had surgery yesterday. I have a pretty uncommon genetic condition. Apparently, it's a Nordic gene. It's kind of interesting that the little finger gradually contracts. There's a contraction of this, and I actually had this finger. I I didn't know that it was even possible to do anything about it, but I found a guy who specializes it here in Asheville, thank God. And so he corrected this finger
Right.
and the other finger was gradually going down. So now this has been done.
Well, so
So
what did he do? Did he
he
cut the ligaments or
it's
the
has to
nerve?
do with the ligaments and the cartilage.
Yeah.
Um, Also, he opens a scar. You probably can't see it, but it's a zigzag scar, and he opens the flesh, and he'll do this whole.
Oh yeah, I see something near the pinky finger, right?
Yeah, just below. It's in the hand itself. It's a
Oh, I see
zigzag
something darker there.
scar that
Yeah.
comes down like that,
Yeah, I see that.
and he opens it up, and it does this whole kind of whatever he does. It's a unique thing
Yeah.
that just releases the tension on all
Right.
that
Yeah.
sound. Now, I mean, it's this. I could no longer play the lower notes on the flute,
Wow.
and this I was starting to affect the bass, where I need to spread to cover all the notes there. So those are probably my biggest impacts musically. But I couldn't do namastes and push-ups. I had to do like this rather than like this.
Oh,
And it's only going to get worse to where a lot of things would be affected. So
wow.
thank God that they have the allopathic, things can do stuff, correct stuff so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Actually,
have to
look
keep
at
this
that.
above my heart now for a few
Um,
days.
I'm glad that's healing. You're doing it on both arms. When I was visiting New York around when my dad was still alive, around 2005, well, he died in 2005. Oh, just before that, I was visiting. I've been doing so much body therapy over the years, deep pressing my thumb like this into people's psoas muscles, and I wound up having the finger was like frozen or like a trigger finger, and I had a similar kind of surgery from someone that he knew that I think they cut some of the probably the same kind of thing, some of the nerve or whatever it was, and then I can do it again.
Free it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it freed it up. It was quite
Yeah.
miraculous.
Yeah. God bless both of our alternative and allopathic medicines and traditions. Yeah,
Amazing.
they're both
Amazing.
miraculous. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I realize that we are on the way out as a civilization. I don't think we're going to survive. I keep wanting to hope, wishful thinking, but I don't see any evidence of it. I just feel like we're keeping going, towards the Titanic, towards the iceberg, and saying, "Oh, there's an iceberg there. What can we do about it?" We're getting closer and closer and closer. 11:59 and 35 seconds, and it feels like that's what's
Well, we have hit the iceberg. The way I hold it, and I use that analogy a lot because it
Yeah.
works on so many levels. In my way of seeing it, we have hit the iceberg. We are going down. We've got, the crew, the crew knows, the engineer actually knows that we have approximately 2 hours left, and we've just held a meeting. The crew now knows we have 2 hours, and we're kind of frantically making decisions based on what needs to happen within the 2 hours that we have before the ship goes down. So they're starting to ready the. We know we only have half the number of life rafts that we were supposed to have. They're starting to ready those life rafts, and the people on it's amazing analogy because the people on the upper decks don't know we hit an iceberg. They knew something happened. They felt the vibration as we were hitting it, um, but they don't know that there's anything actually really wrong yet until this ship starts listing. The people on the next deck, yeah, they heard the news. And they're panicking. They don't know what the hell to do. They're freaking out. They're getting their belongings. Then there's the crew. They know what happened, and then there's the people in the boiler room. They saw what happened. They see the water filling up. They're frantically trying to stave it off. So everyone is in different degrees of both knowledge and response. And so it's a perfect metaphor for the stratification of our society, how much we know, how much we know needs to be done, what we're willing to do. Yeah, and given the ship will be completely on, going down. Just the life rafts is all that will be left of life. So what do those look like? Well, those look like the permaculture based communities that are, now frantically trying to establish themselves before all the supply lines. The internet is down, the supply lines are disrupted. We'll really have to be off the grid. And so the way I'm projecting it is that that's what we'll be left with are those, little communities that are as self-sufficient as possible, eking out, little existences and hopefully allowing humanity to rebuild itself from just those, we'll reach out and kind of try to establish networks with the communities that are managing to exist. And so just in the same way that after the meteor, the little reptiles and smaller mammals that were able to, burrow underground and kind of wait until things were starting to regenerate however they needed to. That's how I see, and
Mm.
will be the seeds of that humanity restarting itself as best we can. That's still kind of an optimistic scenario. I don't know
Well, I appreciate
how that
hearing that.
will,
You
but
know,
yeah,
being here, living here, even though we've got political problems with people don't get along, we've recreated the same urban ghetto where they're isolating from everybody else here and just doing their family thing and keeping away from others. I, on the other hand, have stepped up. I'm running movie night every couple of weeks, and I'll have a permaculture film at 5 p.m. tomorrow, and then we have a entertainment film, and I've set this up every couple of weeks, and it's added a certain kind of a flavor of building community, even when people are not talking to each other and people are ignoring each other and people are just thinking about themselves and their own little nuclear family. And there's a woman
yeah,
that's becoming part of the community. She just came over this weekend. She's quite versed with food foraging and all that. She said, "Hey, if the food supplies end," she said, "I know all these different plants which are edible, which you can make into food, into tinctures." And so I said, "Hey, you do that? I'm the events organizer here, unofficially, but I've stepped up to that role. That feels like what I can do because I'm not a farmer. I have no interest in building things like that, but I'm a wonderful communicator, and so I'm bringing people together. So we organized, and I've organized, and we had about 7, 8 people at a food foraging herb walk the other day that I videoed the whole thing. Now she's going to do that once a month. So it feels wonderful
awesome.
like to find some way through the skid, even when we're going down, even as we're going down, and whether we last or not, at least we gave it our all. I think that's the thing, to give our all, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as Lynn Twist so beautifully puts it, we are living at this time. We are her words are, we are the generation that are blessed to be able to lead the most meaningful lives that have ever been lived by humans,
Mm,
because we're right up against this threshold where it's not just
mm,
our community, our country, our part of the world. It's the entire biosphere that's going down at our own hands. And so, how do we respond within something of that totality? Um, and like you said, we find what is our gift to give, and we give it all our hearts, and find find others to do the same, and we create those communities, or we go down giving our gift. Yeah, and yeah,
It
yeah.
reminds me of a song from Cabaret. And who was the star in Cabaret? It was the one from Julie Garland, wasn't it? And her daughter,
Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli, her daughter. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
If that's all there is, then keep on dancing. If that's all there is, my friends, then have a ball.
I'm gonna send you the. I could read it right now if you like, but
Yeah, I
I
do.
will.
I love it.
Okay, this is the Do you know about Planet Earth Arts? Have I told you about the organization that I co-created?
No.
It's still going strong thanks to our theater partner Michael Freed, who ran the Roundabout Theater in New York City, which at the time was the largest off-Broadway theater. And it was, with Gary Malkin and Neil Rogan and the who wrote a lot of the Pachamama Alliance videos content and narrated them. um, and one other woman, to see how we could support uh, having the arts be used as a vehicle for transformation, uh, both social justice and ecological.
I love it.
Um,
I'm in.
yeah, I'll send you actually, the website is PEArts dot, or maybe I think it's planeteartharts.org. So
Are you
you can
sure? Tell me what you're sure it is rather than what you think it is.
I'm sure it's planeteartharts.org.
PlanetEarthArts.org. Okay.
Yeah, see if that comes up.
Are you going to read something to me, or am I supposed to read?
I am. I'll bring it up. Yeah, it's not on the website, so I'll bring it up.
And tell me where it is on there so I can look at it later. Because I'd rather see your face than read words.
Yeah, I'll put it over to the side so you can still see me. Art
I don't mean
mission.
that. I mean, rather than me getting online to look at it, I'd rather just see you in the picture because I could read along with you, I suppose, right? But I'll get it later. You'll send me a link or something
Yes, I will.
of the actual thing you're reading.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Planet Earth Arts Mission Vision, July 15th, 2017.
Mm,
The Earth is a work of art. Protecting, I don't know if I might have to cry my way through this, but
all right, that's okay.
protecting her is the work of artists. The brilliance of the human intellect has taken us to the heights of technological achievement. This was written by Neil, by the way, who's passed on. The brilliance of the human intellect has taken us to the heights of technological achievement and to the very brink of global catastrophe.
Mhm.
Our unquestioned belief that the human mind alone can solve every global problem is proving itself to be an illusion.
Yeah.
The genius of the human mind now needs to be tempered and informed by the wisdom of the human heart. This is the domain of the arts.
Yes.
The arts speak directly to that aspect of our humanity that is beyond intellect and beyond mind.
Mm,
The artist has a direct connection to that part of us that makes us distinctly human.
mm,
The generosity of compassion, recognition of our interconnection, concern for the common good. It is these qualities that must be brought to the forefront now if we are to achieve what theologian Thomas Berry called the great work of our time, to transform the human presence on this planet from a destructive force to one that is mutually beneficial to the entire community of life.
mhm.
Even though they are supremely iconoclastic and highly independent as individuals, artists collectively have the power to awaken our sense of mutuality, to engender awe, to embody the beauty of nature, to remind us of our oneness.
Yeah.
Art moves us. Art connects us. Art illuminates our commonality, awakens our humanity. Thanks, hon. Now more than ever, we need the arts to assume a leadership role in navigating our miraculous and fragile planetary home
Mm,
through the turbulent white water of our immediate future.
yeah.
I mean, I'm so moved because this is exactly what's happening, right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
This is the mission of Planet Earth Arts to bring the uniquely unifying power of human creativity to bear on the global conversation, making the decisions and setting the priorities that will determine humanity's future.
Yeah.
Our great purpose is to amplify the power of the collective voice of the global community of artists to help alter our trajectory away from the current dark vision of suffering and separation and put us on a path toward a civilization rooted in wonder, awe, and inspired by the transcendental beauty of nature herself.
Yes, yes. So beautiful. Are you able to send it to me in the chat as an attachment or a copy and paste? I'll just save it right away because I want to share it with people here.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful piece. Beautiful piece. Oh, I love that. This is the statement of purpose, the mission statement of the organization which you helped found.
Did that send or not? Is it in the chat now or not?
Not yet. I'm looking at the
Huh.
chat.
I've copied it in there, but when I hit
I'll put your name. No.
when I hit enter, it's not doesn't seem to be
No.
loading it.
So just send it to me. You can do it on
Yeah.
WhatsApp or even Messenger.
I'll send you the document as an email, and you can just
Okay. It's easy to find that. That's beautiful, Vinay. It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful because in a way, it's how you and I have been living our lives. You know, for me, my life is a work of art, and I've I mean, always. I've always been living from my deepest intuition, and I've never accepted. When I broke free of my family's conditioning, that is, at age 20, I've never accepted it that way or the way that I was told I had to live was ever my way. I always had to find my own way, and it's been through vast creativity and breaking free and being a rebel and being a court just all the things that I could possibly do that would awaken the I love this quote by Carl van Durkheim. He says, if a person in life, it's a bit of an interpretation, I'm not reading it because I've read it and memorized it and forgotten it and adapted it over 50 years. A person who truly being on the way does not seek out those friends or people who encourage their old self to survive. Rather, they would instead seek out that which would threaten to totally destroy themselves, and in so doing, awaken that which is indestructible from within. In this lies the dignity of daring. Only when we have the courage to face that which is perilous, that which threatens us with total destruction, that the unknown, which is how I've been living my life, and you too in your own way, then that which is the known, that which is the true knowing, that which is never going to go away can come and arise. But it has to be by facing that which is most perilous, and then out comes these gifts of knowing, out comes these gifts of the being a seer. For me, it never could happen by following. I never could do it by following. I had to do it.
Beautiful. Let me grab a Kleenex.
Sure. Good to fill you with your tears. This is one of
I have to say, Elijah, that's how I know you, and that's what I love and respect so much about you, and inspired by you were always the one that was most radically artful and out there and willing to get outside of the box and the original rebel, and of course now my current bestie Gary Malkin, absolutely true of him too, and
Send my best to Gary. Would you give a big hug for me?
Yeah. No coincidence that your birth name is Gary, and the two Garys remain in my life as pinnacles of that, willingness to, that art, creativity, radical expression above all else, and you two are just a consummate uh, artists in both, of course, in radically different styles, but nevertheless, that spirit is absolutely, just who you both are, and I just so I'm determined to stay. That's why I sought you out after all these years, because I knew that was, keeping my soul alive in some way, because I have, tend to kind of, uh, well, that's you big, uh, yeah, well, that's who I am too. Samasaki, our retreat center, is basically works of art in 15 different sacred altars around
It is you too. It's just
the
another
10 acres.
another facet. Thank you.
And